Hey, at the risk of talking about something when I should probably just really be with it. Maybe I'll do both. I don't know. But I got really triggered yesterday. I guess part of it is the anxiety in the air in general, and part of it is my own energy moving so much changing in my internal system. It can feel like I don't know who I am. I don't know where I am. I don't know what's going on. It's just intense, and there's a feeling that I'm built on a foundation of sand. It's funny, you're supposed to get rid of well, you're supposed to see through the identity, but as long as the identity is built on sand, on an unhealthy foundation, or on a I don't know, I don't wanna say weak, but anyway, not strong, then, just being super spiritual, even probably to some extent, no self-realization, like, all the way to the top, so-called, so conceived, is potentially a kind of bypassing. I don't know, maybe some people get so enlightened so fast that all their samskaras or vasanas or whatever just fly out and they're good. Don't need anything else. But that's not how most humans seem to be. Humans are very, very, very flawed, and we're seeing very starkly these days just how flawed, how susceptible to brainwashing and fear and self-confirmatory, like paying attention only to whatever evidence suits some narrative that soothes their unconscious fears. Especially, I mean, not, how can I say? It's easy to say, especially white people, because it's kind of like we've perfected the art of being extractive jerk offs who want to control everything and not feel anything. But I'm just, listening to a lecture series about the Shipibo culture, and they were infiltrated by evangelicals, missionaries, and whatnot, and many of them bought into it, and others have bought into the idea that they are less civilized. Some of them want to be doctors and lawyers and engineers. So there's a sense, or a kind of apprehension on my part that it is almost a stage you have to pass through. Maybe. We might not get through it, by the way. We might get stuck here and founder and fail as a species, as a planet. No, that's maybe too grandiose. The planet can take a few million years and sort itself out more or less. But as a species, we I don't know, I happen to feel quite downhearted today about our species. Even, you know, I have so many opportunities and so much privilege and so much willingness, and it's still super hard for me to make progress, even on a scale of years. And it's still quite easy to judge myself for for things like today or like last night and today. So last night I was getting so triggered by I don't know. I can try to explain Isabella. Eh. Um, but I'll just say what happened because who knows why exactly anything happens. But like my husband, when it was looking like things were going to go Trump's way, uh, and I was relatively new to you know, the inevitable. I was still kind of in denial, kind of like, yeah, more votes will come in and it'll change over. But my husband was like, no, it looks like it's over at like at midnight or a bit after. And I'm like, I said the good way or the bad way without thinking, because neither option is great, of course, but one seems a lot worse. It's a lot more fascist than the other, although, I mean, I cannot overstate my disgust with the Democratic Party. Um, yeah, straight up proud racist fascist, not not my choice either. Probably it seems like a much worse choice, even though it's two horrible choices. I mean, come on, we have genocide versus genocide plus fascism. You know, that's where we're at. And I don't think anybody really expected the Democrats to get really serious about climate change. I think that was a pipe dream. I mean, if they haven't done it yet, what the fuck is stopping them? And what's changed? Their calculus, their donors, their lobbyist friends, their revolving door. It's the same. They don't want to be exiled from a system of comfort and privilege and status that each individually sees no benefit in abandoning, which kind of sounds like myself in some ways. I'm caught in this system too, and I don't know the best way to make change either. And I'm pretty comfortable compared to most humans. Anyway, I asked my husband, is it going the good way or the bad way? And he says, well, what do you mean? And to me, I mean, it was so clear what I meant. But I just got furious and disgusted with him for asking such a stupid question at such a fraught and, you know, pivotal moment when my illusions were about to be shattered. It's like, why add a stupid question on top of an incredibly difficult moment? It just felt so out of sync, out of tune. And similarly, when my daughter asked me to sing a song and then interrupted me several times while I was singing the song, and then at the end informed me that I hadn't finished the song, even though I had, I kind of snapped at her too and implied that she was making me feel sad and frustrated and disrespected, even though she's just being a 4-year-old. Come on, I mean, she's not responsible for my feelings. I am. But I didn't feel capable of being responsible for my own feelings. I felt totally out of control, totally outside of myself. And so this part was it's almost like it was reaching up and just grabbing the reins when it had the chance, when I was really having a tough time in general. And I told my therapist this morning, there's a part I have that is mean, entitled, and fragile. And it acts like an immature jerk when I don't feel regarded or attuned to, when I feel like somebody who should get me or know me or be kind to me doesn't seem to. And of course, this is a projection of the way my parents were and the way I think I am. I don't really know how to attune to my own family because I don't really know how to attune to myself. I don't really know how to, it's like a chicken or it's like a pull yourself up by your bootstrap scenario where I wasn't attuned to as a child. I don't have a foundation of psychological health, and yet I'm supposed to give it to myself as an adult. Like, what sense does that make? Nobody was attuned to me, but I'm supposed to be attuned to both my children and my inner children. How does that work? Where does that come from? And by the way, I don't really exist, and the universe doesn't really care about me. I mean, it doesn't. It's not personal. It's by definition not personal. So, how am I supposed to believe in some personal attunement to myself and my family in this impersonal universe? Like, it's like I have to go through being human to transcend being human. But there's a sense I like There's a part of me that just wants to go to a cave and never look back. And I won't do that. I would never abandon children. But there's a part of me that wants to. And there's, shame, of course, for that. And it's like, just do the damn thing, do the damn healing, whatever it takes. But it feels so raw. It feels so exposed. And to do all that for something that I don't really believe in anymore, to attune to this child inside of me that is a figment of my own. I mean, the past isn't technically real. But those are thoughts, I guess. Those are thoughts too. What's real is the visceral. What's real is my behavior in the present and my visceral feelings in the present. And I guess that's what I have to deal with right now, whether I like it or not. It's going to keep coming for me if I don't uh, find a way to regard it with presence and compassion. And of course, the presence and compassion aren't mine. They aren't from me. There's no me. They're from the universe. But the universe is not anything personal. So I don't know. I don't really understand what's going on. And my counselor said it makes sense that I don't understand what's going on if I'm coming from a toddler part. Toddler parts don't know who they are. They don't know what they want. They don't know what's going on. They don't know why they feel what they feel. And it's becoming more and more clear what a tiresome, absolute waste of time it is to shame and judge myself for being whatever I am, for feeling whatever I feel. There's a part that like kind of squeezes around my rib cage. Doesn't like when I give up the security blanket of shame and self-hatred. But I'm kind of sick of shame and self-hatred. Like they don't do anything. They're dead weight. The raw stuff underneath. It's not easy. So I'm supposed to tell this little one she's not mean or entitled or fragile in a way that deserves judgment and hatred. she's just a small child who doesn't get her needs met. And there's another part that does a like slow clap. It's like, looks like Aubrey Plaza, you know? She has that kind of like, oh, you're doing your little toddler cry, your little inner child work. Okay, that's adorable. Okay, yeah, go ahead. You know, the toddler is terrified that she's not real and she doesn't matter. And the cynic part is like, nothing's real, nothing matters, fuck it. Everything's stupid. Just remove yourself from it as much as you can. Survive, and that's it. Disengage. Stay disengaged and maybe a little bit superior to other humans so you don't have to feel inferior. But the cynicism has gotten too broad. It made some sense when I was young to just kind of inoculate me against, society's bullshit, ample bullshit. But now it's just a broad brush. Everything's bullshit. Everything's stupid. There's no buck that stops anywhere. Just you know, do your best, get what you can, hope for the best, exist, enjoy the whatever's enjoyable, grit your teeth through whatever's not, eke out whatever pleasure you can. You know, there's another idealistic part, of course, that wants to save the world, change things for the better. But underneath that is just a lake of powerlessness, helplessness, and sorrow, grief that parts of me just want to avoid, but I can't avoid it anymore. I cried in the session like I haven't cried in decades. Somewhere deep, 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 like, root chakra or something deep, deep. It's scary to touch these really, really deep layers. It's like things change to the extent you don't recognize yourself. You're not the same person. But I'm pretty done being this version. It's almost like whatever happens has to be an improvement. And like Angela says, anyway, you're not in the driver's seat, you're in the trunk. And I also yesterday, I had some really intense feelings of transmutation all through my core. it's indefinable. There's no language for this feeling. I'm having it right now. Like some pillar of strength, power, reality that it's gonna do what it's gonna do.